Hi, I'm Haley Thompson, and I'm here with my husband Matt, who is my audience. Don't miss the majesty of this moment, are the words of our dear prophet, President Russell M. Nelson. As we gather here today as young adults of this devotional, we come here to recognize our dear prophet, to remember the life he's lived, and to rejoice in who he is and who we can become as we look to him. He is someone who truly has been able to find the majesty in the details of his life. Often as busy college students, we may find ourselves consumed by the many tasks at hand, by the desire to get that perfect grade, to make more money, or to impress that certain person, rather than appreciating the person right next to us, or seeing God's hand in the details. President Russell M. Nelson has found a way to be able to do that throughout his life. And I'd like to take the next few moments to talk about a few of his experiences that have made him who he is, and to ultimately live a life of celestial majesty. President Russell M. Nelson is the 17th prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He's a world-renowned heart surgeon and the father of 10 children. Of him, one of his daughters, Sylvia Webster, said that when he's at home, he's 100% at home. When he's at work, he's 100% at work. And when he's doing his church duties, he's 100% church duty. That is how he found the balance. Brothers and sisters, that is how he found the majesty of each moment. Another one of his daughters, Laurie Marsh, recounts what it's like to grow up with President Nelson as a father. She says that when he'd get home from work, the first thing he'd do was find their mother and greet her. Second, he'd turn off any distractions like the television and make sure his full attention was on his children. And third, he'd make sure they had family dinner together. He wasn't watching television, he was changing diapers, he was reading books and helping with homework. When he was at home, that was family time. President Russell M. Nelson found the majesty of each simple moment with his family. Likewise, as a medical professional, he also found the majesty of each moment, and he tenderly speaks of an experience that he had visiting a woman who had been confined to an iron lung machine for the past 10 years. He says that as he watched her interactions with her children, he was touched deeply. He says, tears came to my eyes because I realized that there was a body that was just as handicapped as a body can be. And yet the reality of the spirit of this mother in directing the lives and the spirits of her children was one of the most impressive things I had ever seen. President Russell Nelson found the majesty of that moment. He recognized the divine worth of that moment and that woman. In conclusion, we look to our dear prophet, President Russell M. Nelson, with all of his faith and humility and charity, as someone that we hopefully can become, that we can become someone who can find the beauty in the simple things. President Russell M. Nelson has dedicated and announced over 200 temples. He's performed over 7,000 heart surgeries. He has lived 100 years and touched countless lives. May we each find the majesty of this moment.